Okay, that looks like that may be working. All right, so welcome everybody. It is March 11th, and we are talking about text marketing from the base up with Bear Spiess from the Arcade Legion, and doing some work with Senior Commander Kurt Hallstrom today on preparation for potential civil unrest. It's going to be a really exciting call. We're going to process the first part of our show with Bear here in the first half hour or so, take some of your questions and do some introductions as well. Transition, and Senior Commander Hallstrom will take over at 11:45, just to kind of give you the general direction we're headed, so that the civil unrest conversation will begin right around 11:45. Want to just say thank you so much to ISABA's regular annual sponsors: Ideal Printers, DV Creative, Harrington Langer and Associates, and State Farm, the State Farm Office of Juan Cervantes, the Sane Foundation, M Health Fairview, Ledeen Law, St. Paul Federal Credit Union, the St. Paul Port Authority, Highway Credit Union, Metro State, Sunrise Banks, and Walters Recycling and Refuse. Thank you so much, annual sponsors. Some of your sponsors are on the call. Give a wave if you're an annual sponsor. There's Darren Varley, Lori Seaver from the St. Paul Port Authority is on the call. Those are the only two sponsors I see. Fantastic. Yeah, there's Lori in her brand new modern Art Deco dining room Zoom background. Fantastic. I love it. All right, so thank you so much for doing some introductions in the chat here. Here comes our agenda. Let's go ahead and do some introductions straight away. So if you'll turn on your camera, we'll give Bear a chance to see who is on the call. As we kind of get going, we'll give a wave and do some introductions. We've got some new folks with us today too.
They don't have much time.
Bear, I see you coming on. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. That's great. Great to see you.
Okay.
So let's do some just brief introductions here. If you are a part of an East Side business, if you run an East Side business or a part of an East Side business, give us a wave. So we've got Lori and Krista. We've got Mueller Memorial. We've got Darren. We've got Bear from the Arcade Legion. Did I miss anyone here? Mike McManus from 11 Wells. Fantastic. Krista from the Saints. Kai, I think about you kind of in that domain with Aflac. Yeah, kind of, right? And Patrick, I always think about you as a real estate person from that kind of domain too. If you work with an East Side nonprofit and you're on the call today, give us a wave. So there's Haley Ball from Urban Roots. Lori's also a nonprofit. Yeah, fantastic, good. Lori Seaver from St. Paul Port Authority. Rebecca Nelson, which nonprofit are you representing today, Rebecca?
I forgot. Let's go East Side Elders.
Okay, East Side Elders, that's good. Jean Melanson from Cornerstone Montessori. Terrific. Who did Andrea and Shatika from Family Values for Life? Great. And did I miss anyone? Chris from the St. Paul Fire Foundation, and Krista. Chris and Krista. What a team. We should put you two together and you get some good things to happen out there. From the Historic Mounds Theater. Krista from Historic Mounds Theater. Chris from St. Paul Fire Foundation. Oh, Councilmember Jane Prince is on the call. So if you are a part of public service and are an elected official named Jane Prince, wave. Okay, there's Councilmember Jane Prince. I'm so excited, Ward 7. Good stuff.
Howdy.
We're glad you're on the call, Jane. Thanks for being with us today. Always good to see you. We have Senior Commander Kurt Hallstrom from the St. Paul Police Department as well. One of the folks that serves our area and will be working with us a little later on the call. Good to see you, Senior Commander Hallstrom. Okay, we've got Stephanie Haar as well from Jane Prince's office. And then we've got some folks that are new to me. So Robin Bruin is the new person to me, I think. Bear, I'm gonna mute you for a minute. Okay, Robin, you wanna unmute and say hi?
Hi, my name is Robin. I actually work with Kurt at the police department.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, good, welcome. We're glad to have you on the call. Terrific. Did I miss anybody? Is there anybody who is new today? Mandy is new today. Mueller Memorial, longtime member, one of the oldest members of ISABA. Our first president, Scott Mueller from Mueller Memorial. Anyway, Mandy, welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
I don't see anybody else who's new this week. Anyway, Lori's returning, and we're happy to see Lori returning for sure. And all right, let's go. And Lori Seaver, you keep getting confused for me. Lori N. Lori N, I can't remember your last name. Lori N, tell us your last name.
I was getting confused.
Trying to unmute.
Lorian, I didn't know what you were talking about.
My last name is Neeson.
Neeson, Lori Neeson. And just tell us again which organization you're from, because I'm still remembering that.
Yep, I work for a nonprofit called Options for Women East. I also work for another nonprofit in West St. Paul. So we work with women in pregnancies.
Terrific. Yeah, I live on the west side, work on the east side. So it's kind of
Oh,
fun.
yeah. So I'm part of Guiding Star Wakota. They're building that new building on Robert Street.
Oh, sure. Okay, cool. Thank you. Welcome. I'm glad to see you back. That's not Taylor McLaughlin. That is Randy Bloom. I don't know who Taylor McLaughlin is. Oh, he'll change his name here and it'll all be good.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. We're having some technical difficulties.
Okay, so, well, Randy will get that sorted out. And we'll jump right into our topic. So we have a couple other folks chiming in, and that's great. Go ahead and put your name and contact if you want, or a little bit about what you do in the chat, and folks can kind of refer there. Terrific. Great to have you all on the call today. And let's go ahead and get started. So Bear and I have been talking about this program for, Bear, you've been doing this almost 2 years, am I right? The VIP program? And I have muted you, so unmute yourself there, Bear.
All right.
Yep, you're good, you're good.
Okay.
Has it been almost 2 years since you've been doing VIP, Bear?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, yeah.
Okay, and so early on when Bear got this started, he said, Paris, I think this would be good for other ISABA members to learn about. I think this thing could really work. And now he's proven that it can really work. And especially as we are in the midst of emerging from this pandemic, thinking about different ways that we market and connect with our customers, connect with potential traffic and bring folks in is so important right now. So that's why I connected with Bear and said, hey, would you be willing to come and talk to us a little bit about this program more in depth? And he said yes. So Bear, I want to hand it over to you here, and I'll mute myself for a minute and just ask you to go ahead and tell us a little bit about you, about the Arcade Legion, and about this program. Thanks for being on.
Okay. Well, thanks, Paris, and everyone. Thanks for having me. So yeah, I've been in the bar business for about 29 years. I was in it for 20 years managing a small bar in Arcade Street called Vogel's. And I got out of the bar business for a while. I did trophies engraving. And about 9 years ago, I got back into the business. And so my job was to get the Legion back on its feet. It was they were getting ready to close and lock the doors. They were going out of business. And they couldn't really afford to hire anybody, so they hired me on a part-time basis. I was able to put my engraving equipment downstairs, which did me a favor. And we got it rolling, and every year we did better in sales. We're able to remodel and got a lot of stuff done. They just need someone with some experience to help them along the way, really. And they really couldn't afford to hire anybody before. And I came on cheap, and they've taken care of me since then. But my job is to promote the bar and get business in here. And every year I try to go up and up and up in sales, and we're almost, I think we've tripled our business now in the last 9 years since we came aboard. And every year we take a step up. Now, right now it was easy to be, in the beginning it was easy to go up, but now it's kind of plateaued, but it's still going up on a steady basis. And so I was looking for new places new ways to advertise. We never did advertise, just kind of word of mouth, because a lot of my success here was because I was at Vogel's for so long, and I have a lot of friends right across the street from Vogel's, and so I know a lot of people, and they come in to visit us, and a lot of my friends are from Vogel's, so they come over here and kind of help each other out. So I saw this VIP text program. I was actually looking for a kind of a part-time gig a couple years ago. And I saw this article on Craigslist about VIP advertising. They were looking for somebody to go business to businesses and advertise text messaging for businesses. And I thought, you know what, it sounded interesting to me. And I thought, well, you know what, I think that I would try it here at the Legion first. And if I liked it here, I would tell people. Turned out I liked it here, but I didn't tell a lot of people. I just decided not to go with a part-time gig and decided to work a few more hours here and take on some other things. But it's worked very well for us. And in a nutshell, you're your customers are one text away. It's kind of nice to have that. So what you do is you just set an offer. You make an offer up. And what I decided to do, I don't know if you can see this, it just says, join our VIP club, get a free drink when you join. And that's enough of an offer to, who doesn't want a free drink? So they buy a drink, they get a free drink. Now they're giving us permission to text us whenever we have a sale or a band's coming in, or we have croquis, or we're doing our booyah, or whatever we're doing at the time that we want some extra business. They're already coming in, or our customers already. We want them to come back just a little more often to remind them when we're having a sale. Because you could have the greatest sale if you're a restaurant. You could have the greatest sale. You could a lot of people put a dinner sale up on the board every year, but your customers don't even know it. You got a great deal going. So it'd be nice to take a picture of that sale and send it to all your customers. So right now we have a lot of the same customer base. So I only have about 140 on my list. So what happens now during a football game, you go online and you do a one-time text that goes to all 140 members. You say, Legion VIP members, come down for the Vikings game. It's $1 off drinks for the game. We're having some sloppy joes, and we're going to raffle off two $50 winners during the game. And where I would have, say, 20 people at the Vikings games without promoting, now I have about 50 people at the games. It's pretty consistent. So what happens is, even though you get like a little less money for drinks, you're making a little bit less profit, but you're still making a profit. And guess what? They're also playing pull tabs. They're buying their e-tabs now are big, and and guess what? They stick around after the game too. A lot of them. So I say, our average sales on Sundays were $1,000. Now they're $1,400, $1,500. So if I do that in 1 month, it's about six grand, and it costs me $99 a month to do this. So there's different, if you want 500 texts a month, depends how big your customer base is and how often you text them when you have a deal. It starts at $39 a month for 500 texts a month, $59 for 1,000 texts, or $99 for 5,000 texts. And when I send a text out to 140 people, a lot of the time it's in they only give you 65 words, and sometimes I need to explain more to it than just one text. So it comes out as a double text. So that 140 counts as 280 text. So it adds up, and to me, I normally go through about 2,000 texts a month. And it just worked out. It's just worked out phenomenal for us. It's we took the first time we closed on, we came back. It was a little tougher to get back to work, but we were probably hanging in there about 90% we were the year before. And now after the second close, now we're back now, and we're right about exactly the same as we were last year at this time, maybe 99%. So we're doing, and I attribute a lot of it to this texting. It's just nice to know that. Like I started to have a band come in, a band on Sunday nights. So I text our members. Sunday nights are usually dead down here. VIP members, come on down. We got a band playing. Check them out. They're really good, tight as can be. And they come down, and now I have 30, 35 people down here, to 40 people down here on Sunday nights. So just turn our business around. It's just nice, whether you got a pizza place or I wanted the golf course to do it last year. The golf course were really competitive, but last year, because of everybody closing down, that was the only thing open. So golf courses had no problems. They didn't need anything, but they were gonna pull the trigger on it, but they didn't need it, because it'd be nice to know that, say Wednesday during the day it's dead at Phelan's, just for example, and they're gonna have 300, 400, 500 people on their customer base, and they can put a text out to their customers. Phelan Golf VIPs, come down today and take $10 off your golf round. Now, out of that, it's designed that now, of course, all 500 aren't going to come, but if 10% come, that's great. That's 50 golfers that went to bend there. Yeah, they're getting zero when they're not there. So they're getting $50 a round. They're getting $40 a round. They'll still take that. Yeah, so how it's worked for us is I have 140 people. I send a text out. I get anywhere from 25 to 35 people come in. It's about 20%. I guess 20% would be 28. So maybe we do a little, we do 25 to 30% we do. And it's pretty consistent. So it's worked for us. There's nothing wrong with people do it. Go on Facebook. There's nothing wrong with Facebook. There's nothing wrong with emailing your customers. Nothing wrong with signs and banners. It's just another tool that I think is inexpensive. I mean, if we're taking an extra $5,000 or an extra, even if it's extra $1,000 a month, it costs $100 a month for us. So it's worked for us well. And being that we're a bar and a nonprofit on top of it, I sell these $5 VIP bands. I sell them. Well, you can sell them for $1 if you want. I come in, I offer come down VIPs, buy a $5 wristband. You get there again. You get $1 off all your drinks from noon to 6. You get free food. We're raffling off $50 every quarter, and then I give them a free raffle ticket, and they eat and they drink and they sit around and we have fun, and they stick around afterwards and they play pull tabs. And so with the $5 I get for this actually pays for the food and the money I give away.
Nice.
So I do 30 people show up. That's $150. That pays for the food basically. What I also do is they get a raffle ticket for the money. If they want to buy extra raffle tickets, that costs money too. So we do raffles, and it ends up paying for itself for us. So.
Bear, that's great and a really good example. I see Darren has asked, can you post the website for this service? And I was just looking at my notes to see if I had it written down from our earlier conversation. But what is the website? And I'll pop it into the chat, Bear.
Okay, it's sendtextsolutions.com.
Okay.
So it's SEN and text solutions, all one word.
Sendtextsolutions.com. And if folks wanted to learn a little bit more about this, could they connect with you about it just to see kind of how it would work at their place maybe?
Yeah, I would say go on there, check it out, see if it makes sense to you. They can contact me all the time. I'm not trying to push nothing. It works good for me. It's much more affordable now than when I did it. I still think it's worth it. Once I get it, but they're doing some new things now. I'm Rosetown. I'm going to Rosetown. I brought some information to them last week. They're going to sign up for it this week or next week, I think. And with that, because they went through me, I get a free month, and then plus Centex sends me a $50 bill.
Nice.
On top of it.
Well,
if it's working for any business, if I get Rosetown, and Rosetown, if they refer one person a month to me, theirs is literally free.
Wow.
And plus they get $50. Crack.
Well, that's great.
They're just kind of working that out right now, but.
So when I think about this, I think about, and Bear and I talked about this, I think about Sunray Lanes. And so I called Robbie and said, hey, this sounds like something that would work out great for you. I think about Minnesota Music Cafe, just down the street from you over there, Mike. You know, like this would be something that I think Karen would really like. I think about, 11 Wells and St. Paul Brewing, but you also talked to Rich over at Eastside Pizzeria. Like all of our hospitality businesses have regular customers who might like to know when they're running a deal to come on down. And that's what I think is so cool about this. You're not, and the other thing I just want to say about this that captures me and my interest is when I send an email, I send you all an email every week. I have an 18% click rate, like 18% of the folks open the email. That you've got a 25 to 30% response rate, like the people actually came in, not just they just opened it, is kind of incredible, everybody.
On top of that, when you send a text out, it's like a 95% or 95% of people are gonna look at that text. That's amazing. That is amazing. That's what's so effective about it. Everybody will look at the text.
Yep, and I think that's part of key for what we're thinking about. Just in terms of grassroots marketing. And I think that would resonate with almost everybody. I wonder if that resonates with you. Just nod or wave or react. Like, are you looking at your texts more than you're looking at your emails? Are your friends and customers looking at their texts more than they are their emails? That's, I think, true just about the world that we're living in right now. And Bear, you know, it sounds like part of the, and I'm seeing some of you nod and react there. It seems like part of what makes this work is you've got to get permission from people in order to text them. So when you sell that $5 VIP bracelet, are they also saying, if I'm not signed up already, sign me up?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so
They
that,
know they have to be, they're supposed to be, they're just, actually, there's a few people down there that don't have and they don't text, they don't have a phone, they don't.
sure.
So I don't turn them down. They don't have a text that says it. When you sign up, it gets your date of birth, because there's a drink involved. You got to be 21 years old for our business. We also send a thing off for your birthday. Come in and buy a drink, get a free drink. We give them a little reminder for that, and that actually promotes business.
Nice.
And but because there's a drink involved, we have to be 21 and over. But as soon as they opt in, and they can opt out whenever they want. I have had maybe, I guess maybe I was up to 143 at one time. I'm now to 140. I think I lost somebody because when we closed down, somebody said, I'm not getting your messages anymore, and I don't know how to fix it. We've tried to sign them back up, so I got to figure that out. But
Gotcha.
so nobody really opts out. They want to know when things are going on. They're our customers already. They like coming here.
And I think that
They
that's
want to know. They want to know when things are going on. Yeah.
That's the big thing that's cool about this, is that you're connecting with your customers already. So you know, like Mike McManus asked this question: have you had any backlash from customers on frequency of text? It sounds like you don't do this every day, Bear. You know, how frequently?
Oh no, I don't do it hardly. I mean, I do it once every couple of weeks. Well, the football season, I do it once a week during football season.
During football season.
Every game, I do something on it. After that, besides football season, though, when I go 20 weeks in a row, when I do it, I barrage them. But now I just do it when I know I got the band's coming, and I don't even do it every Sunday night, but I do it when the band's coming, or I'll do it if we're gonna have a booyah, if we're gonna have something special, I'll do it. And there's not a lot of special things, right? There's no croaky. I can't text croaky. Yeah. So I'm gonna text next week. I'm gonna text next week about our St. Patrick's corned beef and cabbage. Come on down. We'll have a free jukebox and $1 off drinks for a few hours or something, and I'll get our max is 60 people in there. I know I'll get 55 people in there.
Nice, Bear. So yeah, I mean, you'll have 5 people standing at the door. 6 feet between each of them. I know. So
Yeah.
have you had any backlash from customers, and people said, "Hey, man, stop texting me"?
No, and every text they get, any text they got, they can just they can opt out whenever they want. If some people, those 3 people I'm talking about, one I think I lost says I don't know why, and maybe one just opted out by accident. But yeah, if they're tired of it, they'll just opt out and they don't have to be part of it.
No problem. Well, that sounds great, right? So I'm curious to know, and let's do. Thanks, Darren, for reposting that with the actual live link. Thank you for helping me with that, Darren, for sure. Let's do just a quick around the Zoom here. We've got time to just say initial thinking. And let me actually pull a question up for you here, and I'll put it in the chat. Initial thinking, how would this work at your place? So using a text strategy like this, how would you see this kind of thing working? Are there customers that you could imagine doing this with? So around the Zoom, using a text strategy at your place, how could you imagine this fitting in? Like I said, we've got a lot of nonprofits on the call. Is this the kind of thing that you'd think of to connect to your customers or your constituents? Other businesses, how would this fit in for the way that you think about communicating with people? Who would like to respond to that? And we'll just take comments here for a minute and get your sense of it on the surface. React.
Hey, Paris, can I start? We're going to add, the reason why I want to start is we have, when you get the package I have, you can have up to 6 keywords, and ours is text Legion 577 to be our VIP club. But now our bingo numbers, since we reopened, are kind of down. We had 20 people one week, we had 28. We're getting about 30 people. We used to get 50, 60 people back there. So now we're going to get a different keyword for Legion bingo, and we're going to have bingo have their own VIP list where they come in with a friend, they get 2 free games or something. I don't know what they can do whatever they want. So we're going to do it now. Started with our bingo, we're going to do that. And see what happens there. We can get the numbers up a little bit.
Bear, do you have to start a new account for that with sent?
No, same account, same account. It'll keep adding on to our total, but I have 3,000 texts to work with. I mean, I use 2,000, I have 5,000 to work with. I figure for the 40 extra bucks, I'll go with the 5,000. And I go, and if I'm on the 1,000 text for $59, I get BDL club signed up with me, and they're at 1,000 texts, and actually they go over almost every month. They do about 1,200, 1,300. Well, now they're paying an overage. You're paying like, 4 cents a text per member, but it's not a lot. It might be like $15 or $20 more than their $59. But they're doing that. They might as well just get the 99 and then just bounce away with the text. But it's up to them.
Totally makes sense, Bear. And it sounds like it's the kind of thing that if you're finding out you're using a little more than you thought you would, you can change your service. You could change.
You can upgrade, sure.
You
can upgrade at that time, yeah.
Okay, I love this.
And now what's nice now is you can do I did a 12-month contract. I started from day one. I mean, month 1, month 2, month 3. Now even though I've only signed a couple people up because I'm not really actively trying to go out hitting doors and go into business, tell them about it. I still go on their meetings and listen to their meetings, or they have Zoom calls too. And so what they do is now they have you can do a 6-month contract. You can give them the first 3 months free if you want, and it's just for very little. They'll see in 6 months they're going to get it's like $100 to set it up. We help you with the advertising. The office sends signs out or whatever they do, but there's a little bit of cost in that. But the first month will be free. The second month is free. The third month is free. You're building your list up, and hopefully the fourth, fifth, and 6th month, as you're sending people, you'll know if it's working within the 6 months. If it's not working out, bail out. If it's working out, either upgrade, keep it the same, or
So this is the kind of thing, Bear, that I would like to reach out to all of our restaurant, bar, entertainment, including the Trapeze Center, everybody who's working in this domain, especially right now. This would be the time to try those 3 months, build a list, and see if as we emerge, if this can help folks get back where they need to be. Thank you so much, Bear, for talking to us about this. Any thoughts about this or questions folks want to ask? I appreciate the questions we've seen in the chat so far. Any other questions about this or thoughts about how this would work with a different type of organization? I am not seeing other questions. I'm gonna turn us a different direction, but if you've got, Jean, did you wanna?
Yeah, representing a school, I would say the concept is very good for the school, and I guess the underlying service is something that we would question. We wouldn't be selling wristbands to our parents, but utilizing social media. And Bear, I especially like that you talk about the statistics and what your hit rates are. And that's kind of a wake-up call, I think, for many of us to be mindful of that, especially that people are looking at their text messages so much more than emails.
Sure.
Yep. Real.
And then, when I text out 140, I first say this coming for Saturday, I know people got plans. All 140 aren't going to show up, but if 15 or 20% show up, that's great. They wouldn't be here otherwise. A lot of them. So.
Right on. That's great, Bear. So I'm going to be using this in the next couple of weeks to connect. I also connected with Jonathan Banks, who's been on the show before, from the St. Paul Restaurant Resiliency Project, Bear, and I'd be curious to see what he thinks. They've got a whole bunch of strategies too, and this is just a great one. I love it. So we've got Randy who asks, okay, we've got Lori, we've got a couple things here. So Lori asks that they did have a texting program for a while, but did not have much for response and did not have much to give for a prize. Not sure if it raised much awareness for our organization. Right, so it sounds like you tried it, but was difficult to figure out how to get some traction on what the exchange would be and how that kind of, go ahead, Lori.
Right, with our program, people hear about us mostly from word of mouth or from going on the internet, going on a website. So the texting program, it was like people would come into our clinic and then they would see, you can text to, get whatever. And people would do it and then it was done. Then there wasn't like much after that. It's not like, if you come back, we'll give you another prize. If you come, we're a service to them. So it's not like we're trying to gain them coming back more. We're not really getting much if they come back more. It's for them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I think that the challenge here, and Randy asks, can you advise at all on applying this for nonprofit fundraising? And I think that's the group that you'd want to have as repeat
Right.
folks coming through, right? But what do you offer to them besides, donate again? Really.
Exactly. Get a free T-shirt or something. I don't know.
Ooh, I kind of like that. Yeah, but would you use that every month? Like these are the
No.
challenges, right?
Yeah, it would be more for like a special occasion, like a quarterly fundraising event or something like that.
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah, that may not be the perfect thing for you guys at this time. Maybe not,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's not for everybody. But
But it sounds like a good program. I've had different businesses that I've signed up for their texting programs, and it's just amazing, the information that you can get out there so quickly to so many people.
Right. I think for
Yeah.
awareness and awareness raising, that would be an interesting component for sure. It makes me want to ask Haley, with your CSA or other things that you sell from Urban Roots, could you imagine a need like this where you'd want to drive demand, or do you
Yeah,
have that?
it's funny that you think that typically our CSAs fill up so fast. I think we're almost full already for this summer. So we haven't had a need really to push those out further. But as I've mentioned before, we are launching that mobile farmers market this summer. And that could be a good way to announce to supporters like where we're going to be that day as a really
yes.
good, just this is where we are, please come find us. So that might be something that we could use it for.
It would be interesting too, and that's exactly, Bear and I were talking about food trucks, same kind of domain, like
Yeah.
where are you going to be and are you offering, we were talking about the egg roll queen, at East Side celebrity. And where's she going to be? Is she, where's the truck? I would think that Taqueria Los Paisanos too, Oscar and Alinda might love that. Food trucks are doing pretty well right now, compared to your restaurant indoors. Maybe like stop by the food truck and we'll give you a coupon to get a deal back at the restaurant. Work on it for return customers would be a really interesting thing. Have you tried that kind of thing, Bear?
No, not really. No, I have it just that day. I guess I just use it for
Gotcha.
the day.
Just to that day, not for a return.
Yeah.
Not for a return visit. Okay.
Although when they're here, we will sell our Lucky Buck deal, which we do. We're drawing every Wednesday, and we try to. Our bartenders will ask if they want to buy a Lucky Buck. It's $5, and you can win. We give away $577 every Wednesday. So a lot of them will buy a ticket, and they will come back on Wednesday to check it out and see if they want.
Well, I bet they will. I want to come back and win $577 on Wednesday. That would improve my Wednesday take immensely. Anyway.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm curious.
Churches.
Go ahead, Bear.
I know some churches use it. They send it out to their parishioners, and when they're having a bazaar, when they're having this, or if the bad weather, it's got bad weather, they send it out to their membership. Yeah, we're not going to have this certain thing going on at the church that day, but I think it really for it's for if you got a bigger organization or people you want to reach out, not huge, but at least 100 people or more, or that you want to keep in contact with. Well, even at the 500 texts, if you don't need that many, it's not that expensive. If you want to keep in contact with everybody, hours change or schedules change or whatever. It's a good way. It's just a good way to everybody, because they're going to get it because they're going to look at their text.
Yep, for sure. Ann, I see you have clicked on. Good to see you, Ann DeJoy from ESNDC. Go ahead.
Hi, Bear.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Ann, Ann might want to sign up for your program, Bear, because she, we'll meet you over at the Legion, Ann.
Well, I consider myself a regular customer, although during COVID that my appearance was less and less. But yes, definitely.
Nice. Okay,
We still have a place for you, though.
Okay.
Jane Prince says she's already sent this off to some businesses that she knows. She appreciates your presentation, and your results are amazing. And that's what I think is so great about this, Bear. Kai also asks, how can we refer people to you? What all is involved in referring them to you?
Actually, I didn't get too much into that because they're working on some new referral things. But I think, like, say, if anybody from ISABA joined, actually, ISABA is kind of referring these people to me, which I'd be doing the paperwork to send in. You guys will get a $50 referral rate for every person that signs up.
Ooh, that's exciting.
ISABA would.
Thanks.
And
if beers for people for $50.
Yeah. So, and then of course that would happen to them. Yeah. So you get 10 referrals. That's $500. Yeah. So
that's great. So, and like I said, I can think of some folks that I think would be just perfect. And if Haley wants referral, I'll give her the $50. Yep. What, Bear?
Some people just refer and they don't even use it, but they just refer. They go around and doesn't happen to me, but other agents that do it, they get people that go out there and pound the pavement and they get referrals. And when someone signs up, they make $50. So they might talk to 100 people in a week. They'll take one day and they'll talk to 10 business owners, say at the mall or something. For 5 days, we get 50 people, and out of that 50, maybe 6 will sign up, maybe 10 will sign up, and this guy gets $50 a crack.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, I think we should keep talking about this and think about who this makes sense for most in the network, Bear. And I will push people your way. And it's just getting folks to your email address or your. And Bear, did you put your? Do you want to put your contact information in the chat? That'd be great.
Sure.
Okay. Thanks for being on today, Bear. I want to begin to shift our conversation a little bit. We'll hand off to Commander Hallstrom here. But if anyone has questions for Bear too, as we're kind of wrapping up, let's do some announcements right now. And then, like I said, we'll bring on Senior Commander Kurt Hallstrom. So I put some announcements in the chat. This week, ISABA, through our work with members and Municiport, David Alarcon, who was working with the Sunray businesses on their security. We've put together a website, a set of web pages to help folks think about preparing in case of civil unrest. So we worked with Segal at the police department with a group of businesses, but here it is. The new website domain for those pages is stpaulprepared.com. And I dropped that into the chat. And what it does is it works directly off of the list that the chief of police sent out to our businesses and to our business community, and provides some step-by-step ways that they could take a look at each of those components and take action on them. Like putting resources together is great, but helping folks kind of zero in on this is the action I want to take next, or this is what I need to be thinking about in terms of security at the Legion. How do I zero in on the part of it that I need to think about next? And that's what our resources are intended to do. So I'll be excited to hear some of you all's feedback. And this is kind of homework for future meetings. Like, take a look at this, take a look at the chief's list, which is posted on the website, and take a look at the resources we put there and see if there's a next step that makes sense to you. I'll tell you that Andy Olson from Ideal Printers that printed out the flyer we're going to be posting around about this said, oh yeah, I kind of just glanced at those resources since I was printing them. And we're going to have Segal from the police department come out and have a look and do a security assessment with us. I was like, Andy, there you go. We're taking action. That's exactly what we want this to help people do. So take a look at that. Another announcement from ISABA, we've got a special meeting next week. Oh, it looks like Segal came to Mueller Memorial on Monday. Fantastic. That's great, Mandy. So yeah, we're getting some of these things moving toward actualizing, and that's the important thing. There's Greg's information in the chat. Take a look at that and copy that down if you want, and help us spread the word about the VIP program as well as the stpaulprepared.com resources. Next week, ISABA is having a special meeting in addition to Eastside Connect. We're meeting with a cohort of nonprofits, and we've invited our nonprofit members to attend, called Eastside Nonprofits Unite. And Jean Melanson and Elaine Wiseman from Hazel Park Learning Center have been a part of helping convene that. And I just thank you, Jean, for being a part of that. So all you nonprofits on the call, we're meeting at 10 o'clock next week to talk nonprofit stuff. And then at 11 o'clock, ISABA will convene an Eastside Connect about taxes and the PPP. So Bear, as you well know, we talked about PPP last year. The federal government has said we're not going to tax the PPP loans and grants that we sent out. The state of Minnesota has said we are going to tax them. So,
Oh.
so there's some work at the state legislature right now about tax conformity. Like, let's get on target, Minnesota, and not do this thing. And so we're going to hear about that from our friends at the St. Paul Area Chamber next week, who are helping lead that charge at the Minnesota legislature. That'll be 11 a.m. next week. Are there other announcements that folks want to just wave into the show at the moment? Anybody else want to announce anything? Rebecca.
Yeah, Eastside Elders has 2 different fundraisers coming up here. One going on right now is a planter box sale.
Yeah.
It's on our website. If you go to eastsideelders.org and go to the webpage, and it's on one of the first things on the drop down box that says give help or something like that. I got too many things going on in my head. Sorry. So it's just a planter box that's 4 feet wide, 32 inches, 4 feet long, 32 inches wide, and 32 inches tall. They are handcrafted, made of cedar, polyurethane so that they're weatherproofed. They come with a liner. There's a drainage slats in between, and it goes to a really good cause. We're also selling the Gerton's gift cards so that you can actually go to Gerton's and buy some stuff for your planter box.
Fantastic.
And then we're also having a sausage and peppers drive-through. That's also on the website, April 9th, similar to what we have done in the last couple months. And just go ahead and check it out.
Terrific. Rebecca, I'm going to post the website here in the chat. I found the planter boxes. Yeah, the planter boxes sounds like an extraordinary kind of thing. Really cool idea. Check that out. You can order them ahead of time, and then there's a pick, up until a certain date, right, Rebecca? We've got that posted on our calendar too.
Correct. And either you can pay the delivery fee and we'll deliver it to you, or you can come and pick it up.
All right. I tried to post that in the chat, but I just sent it to Andrea. Sorry, Andrea. There we go. Okay, cool.
Haley vouches for it because she's seen one of them.
Nice. Haley's really excited about it. Yeah, she says they're beautiful planners. Fantastic. Andrea's got an announcement. That's why I sent that to her, because she sent me Andrea, go ahead. Family Values for Life, and then we'll transition.
Hi, everyone. I do have a quick announcement. We are going to be doing a Mindful Mondays mini-series. So starting Monday, March 15th, we are starting with Motivating Moms. And so we're doing it the 15th, 22nd, and 29th. And then also in April, we're doing a segment of My Money and Me, just overall budgeting and what is money, how to do money during COVID, and just period. And then in May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we are going to be talking about maintaining mentally. And so it is a free sessions. We're doing, like I said, starting this Monday, and it's completely free. So you can either choose one series if you just want to do the Motivating Moms, or if you want to do all 3, you can do that. I will drop the link in the chat. You do have to register. And so if you do know any other women or anyone who could benefit from these classes, definitely have them sign up. And also we are going to be doing some giveaways as well. So at the end of each one, you could win either $25 or $75. My kid is playing the tambourine in the background, so don't mind him. Also, we are having some other incentives. We have our back to school program. So anyone who is a mom and has school age kids gets signed up automatically for backpacks and school supplies. And if you attend all 3 series, you will be in a drawing for a free kids bike and a laptop.
Wow,
so
nice.
I'm really excited about that. So I will drop that in the link. And if you all have any other questions or concerns, please let us know. And we start on Monday, so we hope to see you there.
Thanks, Andrea. Perfect. Okay, cool. I need to hand things over to Senior Commander Kurt Hallstrom. So thanks so much, Bear, again, for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to sharing this recording with our other members too. And we'll see what we can learn about VIP, how it can impact our businesses on the east side.
The website tells you a lot.
Okay, cool. We'll make sure we promote that side by side. Senior Commander Hallstrom, I want to invite you on and to talk to us a little bit about preparation for civil unrest and the work that the St. Paul Police Department has been doing. And we've been really happy to be a part of that with you. So I'm turning it over to Senior Commander Hallstrom, and I'm going to make you the host, Senior Commander, unless you want me to make Robin the host.
Either one. Robin's fine. I'll share my screen here in a minute
Okay.
when you're ready. But great conversation you guys had today. And Bear, I was going to call you last week before the fundraiser this weekend, and I didn't get around to it. So good to see you in person. It's been a while since we last chatted, but you got my contact information there. If anything comes up, don't hesitate to reach out or call going forward. And I owe you a visit. So maybe this afternoon, if you're in, I'll slide by.
Yeah, do that sometime. I want to say thank you to you and your people too. You're all
Okay.
professional, and we appreciate all you guys.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Commander Hallstrom, you are the host, so you can share your screen at will.
All right. I just got to find the right one. I got a new computer this week, and I won't have any reasons not to have a camera. So you guys will see my ugly mug every day when we're
No
doing
more
this.
excuses for you.
That's right. No more excuses. All right. Is it up and going?
You are up, and you are about to go from there. You are. You are.
All right.
Ready to present.
All right. So since the unrest that we experienced last year, obviously the St. Paul Police Department and the city as a whole has had almost a full year to prepare and try to learn from what happened last year and plan accordingly to how we're going to respond should that same or similar situation arrive as we move forward through the Chauvin trial. I'd like to say that, though last year was very, very difficult at times, responding to something like that, it's very difficult. And I think that the St. Paul Police Department, we've had a standing mobile field force, and we've prepared for those situations pretty much nonstop since 2008. We had the trial or the Philando Castile event in 2016. So we've progressively gotten better and more prepared. But I don't think that I certainly never envisioned in my career that I would see something like that in St. Paul. And it was a good lesson for us to realize that we have to start planning and thinking about the unthinkable. Oftentimes we get complacent that we have plans and we have procedures in place, but to turn that switch on in a short period of time is a monumental task. But this year we've had a year to prepare, and we've done a lot of preparations and a lot of relationship building with city partners and private partners such as ISABA and PABA and some other groups, especially on the east side, to try to share with what we've done, ask for assistance in preparing your business or establishment or house, for that matter, to be kind of independent for a little while and maybe not be a target. So have a little PowerPoint, 10 slides, and then I'll stick around for questions at the end. So here we go. So as everybody knows, I'm sure that people have been keeping track with the media. The trial jury selection has begun. Just today, they reinstated the third-degree murder charge back in the case over in Minneapolis and Hennepin County. So that is in process, and which is encouraging to me. I really hope that the trial continues to go and continues to progress through the process. A lot of, if you've driven by the Eastern District, you've seen that the barricades are out and fencing will go up probably next week. So a lot of things have been put into place in preparations for this trial, and I'm hoping that we can get the trial done. We get the second batch of officers trial done in August, and we can take the barricades down, and we can return to being open to the community. We miss our interactions with all of you. So we're anticipating, and the judge has said that the trial will not begin any earlier than March 29th. So no matter how soon they get the jury seated, the 29th, Monday, is the date that the actual trial will start. Anticipating that anywhere between 2 and 3 weeks. So we're looking mid to late April probably for hopefully a decision on the case. Again, these are just based upon our experience with the courts. We do not have an inside source or anybody that's feeding us intel. We are just I call them swags, and I think everybody that's on the meeting is old enough to probably know what a swag is, but it's a strategic wild blank guess. Sometimes, and that's based upon 22 years of experience here in St. Paul and almost 25 in total. So I think I covered pretty much everything on this slide. The eyes of the world are definitely upon the Twin Cities metro area. There's going to be protests. There's going to be marches. Pretty much we've had protests and demonstrations in St. Paul with the governor's mansion and the state capitol. Pretty much nonstop since 2016. It's very common that we have events and activities planned. So, sometimes we have a very good relationship with the planners and we can communicate. But in 2016, after the Castile governor's mansion occupation, Chief Axtell started the Special Operations Group, and I was the senior commander of that before I was moved over to East for 2 years. And our goal as a city is to ensure that everybody has an opportunity to express their constitutional rights and demonstrate and march and protest. What we're not going to allow is the threats and damage to property and fighting between groups. And it might look like we're not doing anything, but we're trying to do and be safe when we're doing it. So last year when the looting and that stuff started, we just didn't have the resources in place at the time to be able to address that. This year, going right into it, we will have the resources in place to hopefully prevent and make people think that they don't want to do that again. And then our relationships with the businesses to maybe have some preemptive strategies in place. Sunray has been a model for that type of strategy and forward thinking that, if we can take some steps to mitigate our damages and losses, we're going to do that. But again, our goal is to ensure that everybody has a right to peacefully protest. And our goal is to make sure that we do it in a safe manner. We provide them the opportunity to do it, and they go home at the end of the night, just like everybody we want to do. So again, I covered a lot of this, but our priorities are protecting of life and people. The next priority is property, and then free speech. We want everybody to know that we are not going to tell you that you do not have a right to speak your platform. And we are committed to giving you opportunities within the scopes of the law to do that. If it's peaceful and it's done, in the public right-of-ways and on public property, we are there to support that. Violent behavior and dangerous or destructive activities will not be tolerated, and our response to that is going to be measured based upon what we're seeing. I can't get into tactics, but we're in a much better spot than we were throwing that switch without any preparation last May. So we are committed to handling 911 calls in the district, just like any other day. So hopefully our services will continue. If you need us, we're going to respond just like it's any other day. The way we're going to be able to do that is we have multiple mutual aid agencies that are going to assist us with some of the other security things, and we're going to have almost 1,000 National Guard. Some of them are already at the Capitol. We'll have some here in the Eastern District, but they're going to be assigned to the Payne Arcade area just to be on the street and be visible and try to be a visible deterrent. We are going to be with them, and they are going to be our partners. We have mobile field force. Like I said, we've had a standing mobile field force since about 2008 in the RNC. But we've gone back every couple of years. We go back and we retrain that. But every officer at the St. Paul Police Department and many of our supporting agencies have joined us this year with that training. And we have mutual aid agencies from Dakota County, Washington County, Ramsey County Sheriff's Office, and multiple other jurisdictions have signed on and said, we'd like to learn what you're doing, because we don't know where these things are going to occur. It could just as easily be down in Egan or Maplewood or Woodbury. So everybody's realizing that not many agencies the size of, St. Paul or Minneapolis, and we even proved last year that we're not big enough to handle it on our own. So ever since 2016, when I was in special ops, one of my first goals was to interact with the protesting or demonstrating group and try to see if they, if they would trust us enough to tell us what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, and then we would then assist them in achieving their goal. I got actually pretty good at planning responses to those protests and demonstrations, and I joked with the chief that I hope I don't ever go to the dark side, because I could really probably be a pretty good protester. But there's no real risk of that. But so we're constantly trying to have that engagement with these groups, so and others, just so they know that we're not going to try to stop you. We just want to make sure that everybody, yourself and the general public, can do what they need to do and go home at the end of the day safely. So our guard members and some of our other assisting agencies are, they're going to help us make sure that the hospitals have safe ingress and egress and safe, that they're secure. Our critical infrastructure, government buildings, the Capitol and the governor's mansion. We have a fantastic relationship with the Minnesota State Patrol. We have a unique type of situation here in the city where the Capitol grounds themselves are the jurisdiction of the Minnesota State Patrol, but the streets that run around and through the Capitol and like Summit Avenue over at the governor's mansion are the responsibility of the police department. So we obviously have to have a really good working relationship with those agencies, and we have really built on that relationship since 2016. And having these, the Guard and some of these other agencies around to help us with these tasks really free up a lot of our officers to be able to respond to Sunray, respond to Walgreens or CVS or businesses on Payne Avenue or Arcade, White Bear Avenue, be able to respond to those particular situations should something, arise or occur there. So there's basically, there's a big operation that's kind of coordinated by Minneapolis and Hennepin County Sheriff. Obviously they're the epicenter, so to speak, of the attention, the media over there in the Hennepin County Government Center. That's referred to Operation Safety Net. And they're working with West Metro agencies, Hennepin County Sheriff, State Patrol, Metro Transit, National Guard, and a bunch of other agencies that are on the West Metro. We are part of the East Metro Response Group, where we have partnerships with Ramsey County, Washington County, Dakota County, State Patrol, and we've done some special training with the fire department to be able to respond to, fires and other things. Often, we talk about this relationship. We have a fantastic relationship with the fire department, but we have never had to, so to speak, secure a fire company as they were fighting fires as we did last May and June. So that was something new for us. And, it's not that we couldn't do it. It's just that we didn't know exactly what the fire department expected of us, and the fire department didn't know what they should expect from us. So we built that relationship. And then, like I said, there's going to be approximately 1,000 Guard troops here, relatively soon, probably within a week or two. But we are coordinating with, working with Operation Safety Net and the West Metro Group, obviously communication, and we'll have somebody over there in that group, in that command center as well to share information and go forward. As far as protecting your businesses, we have this flyer. We've started to come by some businesses on Payne. We've had some of our community engagement specialists hit the Latino businesses down on 7th Street, where we also are working with our LACPA group to head out to get out and have conversation with some of the Asian speaking businesses that are out there, and hand out a flyer like this, or Paris provided us with a nice glossy flyer that has the same information and then some. So we're going to steal that until they're gone, and then we'll get more. But we're trying to be proactive and engaging with our businesses. But as far as your business goes, do you have a security plan? Have you looked at it? Have you pulled it out of the file cabinet in the last year or two? and dusted it off. Maybe it needs to be updated with current phone numbers and things like that. You know, evaluate your security measures. This is where Segal would come in. If you want to have a crime prevention through environmental design assessment, she'd be happy to come over and give you that. It's free of charge. Looking at your lighting, looking at your security cameras, looking at, you know, shrubbery or fences or whatever. There are laminate products, aftermarket products that you can professionally pay to have put on your windows. They basically stop somebody from being able to break your window. It holds the glass in there in a film of plastic on both sides, and it doesn't stop it from being broken. And it takes a great deal of effort then to get that part pulled out of the window, like 5 minutes worth of effort to break that through. And then, you know, basically as we move forward here and the snow piles have melted and, you know, spring is upon us, you know, check around your property. If the plows have thrown a bunch of rocks into your boulevard, if the garbage is piled up in the back alley, just ask that you check around there, and anything that could be picked up and thrown, used as a weapon, you know, pick that up and just throw it in the garbage. That would be a great help to us, that we can remove some of these projectiles and potential weapons of opportunity before we're in the middle of things. And then stay vigilant, report suspicious criminal behavior. If you see a bunch of vehicles driving around the neighborhood with no license plates on them, you know, go ahead and give us a call, 291-1111 or 911 if you think it rises to that level. They both go to the same location. So if that's all you can remember, please don't hesitate to call 911. You know, somebody asked what suspicious behavior looks like. 25 years of law enforcement, it's still a difficult word to put, what's the word I want to say, put definition to. It takes a lot of things into consideration, but I think you'll know it when you see it. If somebody's hanging out at a neighbor's or your back lot or something, don't hesitate to give us a call. Share evidence of crimes if you have security systems and things like that. I know moving forward in the next couple of months, we're going to be starting a program where you can voluntarily register your address as a place that has video. And then as we have crimes occurring throughout the city, we can look at the list of addresses and potentially reach out, and you can voluntarily share your video footage with us. But that's in the making. That's a pretty big project, and we're in the process of doing that too. And then, you know, I already covered, watch out for your neighbors, both businesses and residents. Again, to put a plug in for our crime prevention unit in Segal and Patty Lammers. They're great, and they'll be happy to come out to your place of business. If you wanted to try to have another meeting with your business or a couple of neighboring businesses, I'll be happy to either do it in person, or we could set up another Skype meeting or some other platform. If you want to follow what's going on, as you know, we're not doing it right now because there isn't a whole lot going on, which is great, and I hope it stays this way from the bottom of my heart. I'm not a Twitter guy. I think they're called tweeters, but if you're a Twitter, that's SPPDMN. The PIOs and other groups will be sending out information as we know it and we find out about it. Facebook at St. Paul Police Department, and then I'll plug my own Facebook page, St. Paul Police Department Eastern District. We are trying to be more proactive with crime prevention tips, and this over the last several months, when it was really cold, we had there for a while 100% of the vehicles that were being stolen were running, and I'm trying to get that out in the social media. So we do try to put useful information on St. Paul Police Department Eastern District Facebook page. There'll be other social media platforms out there, and obviously there's a 24/7 news cycle. So there'll be a lot of things on the national news. The local news will switch over, obviously, if something big goes down. And then this meeting is every Thursday at 11 o'clock through the 25th, I believe, of March. And we have a great relationship with Paris and Isaba, and if we need to continue it for a little while through April, excuse me, I'm sure that I can strong arm into letting me have the floor for again. for 15 or 20 minutes. We do have our regular monthly community meeting that's going to be next Tuesday, the 16th at 9:30, and again at 6:30 in the evening. And that is a Teams meeting, or it's a Zoom meeting, but we don't have Zoom at the police department, so we are using Teams, which is essentially a virtual meeting. If that's something you're interested in, you can email me, and we will get you the link to that meeting for next Tuesday. That is all I have. I'm gonna unshare if I can figure that out. Ferris, help me out.
Sure, Senior Commander. If you just wave around toward the top of your screen with your mouse, you'll see a stop share option up there. It should drop down just from the Zoom window.
I don't, when I shared my screen, you went, I just have the 4 little blocks here.
Down at the bottom, you mean? Share screen. So at the top, you should have, at the top of your screen, I believe, and anyone else have a better idea here? You should have a thing that just says, on that screen you're looking at, Commander, on your PowerPoint screen, you should have an option to stop share.
Oh, yeah. I'm at the wrong screen. I'm on the wrong screen.
Sure, yeah. You've got 2 monitors up.
I got 3 now.
Wow. Yeah.
It's,
really giving you an upgrade, sir.
Yeah, now I'm struggling. Good Lord. I'm sorry, everybody. Well, people could start asking questions, and then
okay.
I'll, if there's any questions out there.
So here's a question from Mandy from Mueller Memorial. She said, would the St. Paul Police Department ever consider using the texting system that Bear discussed as a means to really connect quickly with credible alerts? And I just reposted what you had said, that SPPD has said their Twitter feed would be the way that you're going to post credible alerts. And Mandy, I've got a follow-up question about that, but and Commander Hallstrom, we talked about the Amber Alert that you do sometime via text, but you know, that there to Mandy's question, any other thoughts about using a text-based system like that?
Well, I don't know that we would do something like that. There is a system called Everbridge, and it's owned by Ramsey County. And Councilmember Prince was actually asking about that. I don't know if she's still on the call or not. Do I still own this thing, by the way? I finally got my Zoom back up.
You do still own it, and that won't matter much unless you've got to go.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sorry. So
Everbridge.
There is that system, and currently Ramsey County doesn't own the feature to allow us to do that.
Okay.
You know, I guess what we could try to do is we could get, you know, a person or a business or two to coordinate that they would, if they had that service, obviously they could then pair up with the Twitter account or the Facebook account, and then be able to share that information out with the group that's in there. So that would be kind of like a, you know, ISABA function.
Yep.
Or a concerned, you know, Bear or somebody could help us with that. But it's something that we're looking into, but right now we currently don't have the means to do something like that. We just have the basic social media platform. But great question.
So, and Mandy, that's what I kind of responded. We've talked about putting together an alert, and this was from Brooke Lee at Anchor Paper. She just said, you know, getting those alerts from B. Kyle from St. Paul Area Chamber last year was so helpful. It helped them decide when to evacuate their building over in Midway. So we could put it together as an email list pretty easily. If we wanted to do it as a text list, we should explore that. And ISABA could, you know, I also am just sensitive to wanting whether ISABA is the right person, you know, whether I'm the right person to be watching that Twitter feed and then sending you all texts. So watching the Twitter feed is something that everybody can do as a piece of your precautionary security plan. And someone from your team, or perhaps a group of businesses right there on 7th Street, or a group of businesses over on Arcade, could be watching each other's back and have each other's text information. That's one idea that came out of our work group. So other thoughts for the Senior Commander here? I'll see if there are other questions in the chat, but other folks want to ask a question. Lori, go ahead. Oh, and Stephanie Haar, I think, was going to chime in too. Go ahead, Lori.
When we were talking about the texts, so I get texts from the city of St. Paul for snow emergencies.
Yep.
So is there somehow that system can be used or not?
That system is owned by Public Works, and I'm not certain the capabilities of that. If that's something that can be changed, or if that's just a program that's been written specifically for. And I get those text messages as well. So I don't know how robust of a system that is. So that I could certainly ask the question to the special operations group to see if that's something they're interested in pursuing. But that you bring up a very good point. So thank you for that.
Yep.
Thanks, Lori. Steph, did you have a comment about Everbridge?
I was going to say that, as Commander Hallstrom just said, that the county is not using it for that purpose. They don't have the capability. They're still investigating it, but not planning to have it available in the near future.
And Mandy, one of the things that ISABA might consider is we could be, if we were to put the kind of program together, say every ISABA business that wanted to be on my text group for an alert, and to avoid liability, I think I would say, check the alerts at, I might be able to send an alert that just drove you back to the web page or drove you back to the Twitter feed to say, hey, looks like credible threats are coming toward the east side. Check out SPVD MN Twitter feed and give you that kind of alert. Would that kind of thing be interesting, helpful to folks on this call?
I guess our big concern as a funeral home is, yes, I care about all of us as employees and all of us as coworkers, but we also bring in 50 plus people for a visitation or a funeral.
Sure.
And how would I be able to quickly get them to safety if something were to happen? Not only, they're already struggling. They're at a funeral home for a reason.
Yeah.
How do I safely make sure that they're able to get out and get to the right place in a timely manner?
So I think that's something that Mueller Memorial, absolutely working with Segal or working with the resources, like your evacuation plan, that where that falls under, right? Like, and so what you would need is the alert that's going to tip you off that you might want to put your evacuation plan, implement your evacuation plan.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So certainly one of your next steps is working on that evacuation plan. What would it look like? Where would you send people? How does it work? Who would make the call? All that. Yep. Okay. Bear?
I'm good.
Okay. Other thoughts? Thanks, Mandy, for that. So Mandy, sorry, one other piece of follow-up. Would it be helpful if you had somebody or another mode to be, would it be helpful if ISABA was watching that Twitter feed and sending out an alert like that?
Absolutely, because when I have a visitation or a funeral going on, I'm not looking at Twitter or Facebook or anything along those lines. My focus is 100% on the family I'm serving. And so I wouldn't get an alert in that way at all.
Got it.
Last year when things started to get into an uproar, I got an alert from a very close friend of mine who's a police officer saying, Mandy, you should maybe start thinking about getting your employees out of there just to be on the safe side. Not so much from Twitter or Facebook or anything along those lines.
Sure, okay.
I look at my phone more so than I look, like Barrett said, I look at my phone. I look at text messages more than I look at social media or anything else. So when I got a text from a friend, I looked at that before anything else.
Thank you for that feedback. It sounds like that's something ISABA should consider. What way could we be a helpful piece? And could the VIP program help us do that over the next 3 months? We can learn about whether or not we'd want to keep it in place for the trials in August. Okay, we'll consider that for sure and think about it as another avenue. Are there other questions for the senior commander today or other things to share?
I think Lori asked one about helicopters.
Oh yeah, thank you. Go ahead and read the question if you want to, senior commander. Or answer.
Any plans for helicopters from State Patrol or other safety measures during the trial? If so, will they hover in certain areas more than others, and which areas? Well, they're very expensive. We don't have one. State Patrol is the only law enforcement entity in the state of Minnesota that has a helicopter or two. They're obviously going to be going to the places that are having, large scale demonstration, large scale unrest. So last year they were primarily focused over on Lake Street and down over in that area. And then when university kind of sparked up, they hovered over our area a little bit. The media helicopters, they go where the story's at. So, I have my fingers crossed that we're not going to see that type of stuff here. I'd love to tell Mueller Funeral Services that, I don't think that you're going to be a target, but I've learned in 25 years that we don't know what's going to happen, and we can kind of take guesses at things to what we can anticipate. But having a plan is important, and then realistically, it's the business's individual decision as to what you want to do. We're going to try to tell you that we're seeing things and what direction they're going, but we're never going to come out and say you have to do this, or you have to do this, or you need to close, or you need to evacuate, unless there's like a fire in the building. Obviously the fire department's going to say you got to go. But we're really going to be relying on businesses to have those plans, to have those strategies in place, and to be able to be independent upon the decision to make that, okay, I'm sorry, but there's a large demonstration or march, and it all depends upon what kind of march and demonstration it is. If it's the peaceful march that they're just marching down the street, which we see all the time, it's not unlikely that those are, if not 3-4 times a month, 3-4 times a week, especially as we get towards the end of this thing with the Capitol and things. I wouldn't do anything other than to have a shelter in place plan for that. And when I say shelter, I just mean don't be planning on going out and getting your car and taking off and leaving and going home while the group is marching by. We have seen very little property destruction out of those particular groups. There's no threat to the general public unless, sometimes people, we try to prevent this, but people drive into the group thinking that they're going to drive through. Bad idea. Don't do that.
Right.
But if it's a destructive group, there's not the infrastructure on the east side, like University Midway area, where you had big business after big business after big business with the things that historically have been the targets. So not saying that we don't need to be prepared. I'm just kind of trying to alleviate some of your stress by saying that historically we have not seen that.
Makes sense.
Again, we hadn't seen what we saw last year before either.
Thank you, Senior Commander. That's why we're doing these meetings and doing them this way. Part of what I hear you saying is that peaceful protest, that nonviolent peaceful protest, is not the dark side you were talking about earlier. Right. That's the bright side of citizenship, really, is getting to do that. The destruction that we saw come out of that was something entirely different. And you've talked about that at other times on meetings like this before too. But the onus is on each business to kind of figure out, okay, what would we do? What do we need to put in place so that we're ready to be safer? And this is, I'll just make one other plug for this work, Senior Commander. This is not a one-stop conversation for us. And those of you who are committed to and invested in the East Side, which is all of us on this call, know that we need to have better safety protocols in place for the East Side, period. And this is the beginning of more of that kind of conversation. How do we have a safer East Side, period? And some of this burglar proofing or figuring out what evacuation plans kind of look like is just part of that. Like, oh, okay, let's get the citizen businesses up on the edge of their seat to also figure out, like, what's my part in kind of making sure my place is secure. So that's part of our work, I think, very much.
And it can apply to natural disasters. Your planning is not necessarily something that just revolves around the Chauvin trial. And then when that's over with, then it'll maybe come back in August, and then we're done with it forever. Tornadoes, floods, if you look back to, 9/11 in 2001, FEMA wanted everybody to have a safety plan in your house. How are you going to communicate with your family? How, those things are important, and they can be the difference between your family being completely stressed out and being able to know what everybody is doing to, okay, I in this particular plan, I know that John is going to go here and Sue's going to go over here, right? So it's just a good ongoing preparedness, and Lord willing, we never have to use it type of conversation.
Yep. And so anyway, Senior Commander, thank you so much. And thank you so much for this work. Yeah, that, oh, anyway, was just like, we've got more work to do, you know, and as an Eastside community, we're glad to be in partnership with you and the St. Paul Police to do the work that we can do so that we can be prepared for whatever does happen, you know, in each of the situations that we face. So
absolutely.
I just appreciate you and thank you for being on the call, and want to encourage folks this week to take a look at those resources that we've now published, the stpaulprepared.com, and see what's in there that kind of calls to you. We're going to have Senior Commander Hallstrom back on each week at the end of our time to kind of talk in this vein. So we'll answer questions and connect. But we'll also, you know, the most compelling evidence is going to be when a business owner says, oh yeah, I'm going to take a look at this, Mandy. When you put together an evacuation plan, it can say, well, this is what we considered that we never even thought of. That's going to be the strongest convincer to other businesses and other organizations. Like, oh, maybe we should take a look at that too. You know, that's where we need to go with this. And we'll have an update next week too about just what we think about being a communication leader with the VIP program. So Bear, it sounds like you and I are going to talk again. All right, everybody, let's wrap it up there. And Senior Commander, unless there are any further questions, I'm going to ask one more time. I don't see anything else in the chat. Just want to say thank you so much for being on the call, and thank you, Bear, for being on, and Senior Commander Hallstrom. Did you want to say one thing in final passing, Senior Commander?
Thanks for everybody for your time today. Rebecca, I think this is the second or third meeting we've been on together this week, so good to see you again. And you know, this really is you know, fantastic to see that people are actually, you know, kind of paying attention and looking big picture and forming these connections and communication chains and relationships. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, Greg. Bear, anything final passing?
No, I just want to say thanks to everybody too for having me in.
Terrific.
Be safe.
Looking forward to more. We'll see you next week, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.